Yep, thanks for that, Lee. The Proteas are unbeaten after winning their first two matches at the T20 Cricket World Cup, currently being played in India and Sri Lanka. So tomorrow, the South Africans come up against the other unbeaten side in their group, New Zealand. So to preview this match, we've roped in former Lions bowler Ayavuya Myoli. Aya, it's so good to have you with us. We were just actually discussing the fact that the Proteas have stayed in Ahmedabad and New Zealand were in Chennai. You know, the subcontinent is always interesting when it comes to all formats of the game as well. You've been in these positions. How much of a difference is that going to make with South Africa staying at the venue that they've been playing at, and then New Zealand obviously having to come and play for the first time there?
Morning, Stacey. Yeah, I think home-based, I think they've been there camping there for the played two games already. I think South Africa knows the conditions. For New Zealand, they've been based in Chennai. I think for them to come to that side and also try to adapt to the wicket. And also they've played two games in Chennai. So them coming to Ahmedabad, so they have to adapt to the conditions. And South Africa, I think they know how the wicket plays.
Also, the times of the games are really different. You know, it's either 3:30 in the afternoon or 7:30 in the morning. And I mean, from a weather perspective, that can change the entire ground, change the wicket drastically, right?
Yeah, definitely. More especially in India, there's always that Q factor that happens when you're batting second if you're playing very late. So that can change, but there's a lot of adaptations that you can put in. But yeah, that's the conditions also matter, and the dew factor always plays a part.
So let's preview the match, because I think it's really interesting. Canada was quite an easy one for us. Afghanistan, I was just trying to find out what are the odds and the stats, you know, to get into that double super over. It was obviously a very thrilling encounter for us. But I think, you know, just looking at some of the other previews by analysts, them saying that it's important that we experience this level of pressure now, because it's only going to get worse as we progress and hopefully make it to the end of the tournament.
Yes, definitely. Looking at the past World Cup, the smaller countries, every time we play a World Cup, they get better and better. So the margin now is getting closer and closer.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. The standards of cricket is improving, especially in T20 cricket. So you look at Afghanistan now, it was a tough game us against South Africa. In the past 4 years, you'll never expect that. Look at Canada, how we played. They also competed against us. So the smaller countries are also competing, and there's a lot of international cricket that's been played and T20 tournaments around the world. So guys travel and understand different conditions, and they've been playing a lot of T20 cricket.
You know, talking about that double super over, Tristan Stubbs, who was, you know, great with bat and ball, he was saying that as a batter, you've got to just remain calm, focus on your breathing, because actually there's a lot of pressure on the bowler. You would then come in with your experience and say, is that the case? What do you think? And then maybe segue into where do you think we need to be making changes, especially with no balls, the middle order batsmen having to come to the fore. What do you think is going to be the focus ahead of this New Zealand match and some of the changes that we'd need to implement?
Yeah, I think South Africa have won both their games. I think we're still in the group stages. I think we've put in a strong side. I think there isn't much changes I would personally that I would change, just to make sure, like small errors, like no ball, the stuff that you can control.
Yeah.
So those are the controllables. I think that you had something that you cannot change. But in terms of the team, from the balance of the team looks good on my side.
Yeah.
Having our batting order looks very strong. We've got our bowlers. Two of our batters are in the top. Top 20. You've got Rickleton and Quinton de Kock there, and also in the bowlers you have Lungengeti is number 2, and Marco Jansen is also in the top 20 leading run bowlers in the tournament. So I think we've got a good balance. We've got some good all-rounders. Good to see David Miller coming in there, hitting a few sixes. So I think there's nothing much to change. It's just on the day how we come in and show that you really want to win.
I tell you, it was refreshing to see Rickleton eventually included, because obviously he wasn't included initially in the squad because him and Quinny, you know, that would be a decision making one or the other. And it was something when we chatted to Rickleton on the show that he mentioned, you know, you just had to learn to deal with it, and eventually now is included because he was in such fine form in the SA20. But Kagiso Rabada, on the other hand, a player that we expect so much from, he's been struggling a little bit coming back from injury. I mean, there's that psychological factor. He wants his body to perform at the level that it was, but he's got to recover from his injury fully. It must be a challenging thing for him as well to deal with, right?
Yeah, definitely it is. I think, as you said, that he was coming back from injury, getting into the thick of things. And there was some good bowling that we saw from him in the SA20, good speeds that we saw from him. And also in the World Cup, unfortunately, I think the over that he bowled didn't work out so well for him. But we know what he can do for the country. We know what he has done for the country.
Exactly.
So it's a guy that you cannot write him off. I think it's a guy that he loves pressure and always comes alive under pressure.
I'd imagine he's putting himself under all that pressure, and it must be frustrating. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but thanks for coming in and chatting to us in studio. As I mentioned, that match against New Zealand is going to be in Ahmedabad, and it's going to be at 3:30 tomorrow. Let me just double check that actually. Yes, it is at 3:30, and it's going to be in Ahmedabad in India there. And that's what we were discussing, and that's all we have time for. Unfortunately, we didn't get enough time to go into your comments, but I've been seeing them come through thick and fast around those messages of support for Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns, who have crucial continental clashes coming up this weekend. But generally speaking, all of you have been saying, show everyone what South African football is all about. It's over to the news desk with Leanne, though. That's where we're going to wrap up your sports news.